Welcome everyone. It is time for Co-Creative No Code's office hours. I think we're on August 5th, if I've been counting correctly. Yeah, awesome. We have Thomas here and Kim is here, and we're going to showcase some work that Thomas and I have been doing together over the last week. But before we do that, if this is your first time tuning into Co-Creative No Code's office hours, I'm Tonya. We do this office hours live Zoom broadcasting thing 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We invite our members to join all of the Zooms, as many of them as they want, for just $49 per month. You can become a member at cocreativenocode.com. And then if you would like to join us for a complimentary session, if you're a member of Co-Creative No Code's Facebook group, you get one free session. Just go ahead and comment on the live and ask him to send you a link to the Zoom. Awesome. Oh, Austin has already posted. Hi, Austin. I think, well, I don't know if Austin's watching, but hopefully Austin can join. Yeah, hopefully he can join us at some point. That would be great. I'd love an update on, I would love an update on how things are going with Backendless with him. I know he's recommended it a couple times to other people on Facebook. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Thomas, you want to show us some chat functionality? So what do you want me to do?
Just preview it with a specific, I guess just yourself, Tonya.
I'll just be me.
Yeah.
They're always saying be yourself.
Yeah. It always works, right?
Yep, always works. Okay, so for those who might just be watching this for the first time, what we were trying to accomplish here, oh, that looks fantastic. Right. Well done. We were trying to copy Facebook's Messenger, where you have the different individual message boxes, up to 3 of them on the page. And then you can, of course, close one out, open up a new one. Of course, I only have 3 to work with here. Can I chat with myself? No, it doesn't let me chat with myself. So one of these there, that's one. Yeah, and then what you can do is you can scroll. So like if this is a social media site, we still have all of our posts and things, and we can scroll, but we can see our chats here. That's really cool. Well done.
Couldn't do it without you. So
well, yeah, I couldn't, I mean, I wouldn't have the patience to make it look as good as you've made it. So I could probably do it, but
yeah, it's exciting. So
yeah,
there's a few things though that I've just noted. Would you like to add more to it, or?
Sure, let's do it.
So I'll start with the title of each chat. What I was trying to do through conditionals was when the messages creators is not, I guess if you just take a look at if you just take a peep at the where it says Tonya Iosa, that element that I placed there, it should be inside the chat.
Yeah. Yep. Parent groups, threads, creators first last, but you want maybe the name of the other person?
Yeah, and I try to do
so
that
the person
conditional. I try to when is not, then show. Did that? I don't think that made sense.
Parent groups, thread creator is not. Oh, so yeah, so what I would do here is I would probably take this conditional off, because we're always going to want to have a title for it. So is this visible on page load? Okay, and then parent, what we want to do is parent group threads users first last users here, and then instead of first last, I want to filter here where unique ID is not current users unique ID. And then first
Is not
last.
current. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're taking the list of users on the thread and we're filtering out current user, and then we're giving the remaining users, could be multiple technically, first last, right? So if it's a chat with more than one other person, it would give the first last name of one user, then the next user, and so forth.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So let's just update this and see if that worked. Yep.
Nice.
There we go.
Sweet. Very, very beautiful. Gotcha. I thought I could have done it through the conditional, but seems like it wasn't the way. So let's see. I have like a list here. Give me 1 second.
It's okay. You came prepared. I'm impressed.
Yes. I guess like just try to get as close as Facebook Messenger as possible, right? Without like the unnecessary stuff.
Yep.
So I was trying to think through a way of minimizing like one of these chats. So instead of clicking X, well, I guess this is more.
Yes, I was really annoyed. I was really annoyed the other day because when I went to, let me open Facebook up, is when I was looking at the Facebook functionality and looking at how it opens up on, I remember it used to be when I clicked minimize, it would just have a little box down that had the name and I could make it big again. And now they don't do that. So maybe we want to be different than Facebook in that respect. So let me open.
I guess it was like in the way or something.
Wait, say that again?
I was thinking to myself, I wonder why they took it away.
Right, exactly, same, because when I do this, it seems to do the exact same thing as just closing it out. Like
You still get a little bar on the right side, and it seems like it filters by most recent.
I could see here, yeah, exactly. So I could like click this and it will open it back up. But
Right.
I prefer like being able to have it down at the
Right.
bottom, the ones that I want.
Especially
So
like active chats, right?
yeah. So maybe what we do is on the here, this is
Yeah, we could have like an icon that would
put
trace.
all of, well, if we put all of this in a group that collapses when hidden,
Mhm.
and then we can just have the like the line icon
Yeah.
here and
Yeah.
click it and hide it, and that will should collapse it down. Well, usually that collapses up,
Yeah.
not down.
No way to animate that. Can you animate that?
So maybe what we do is we have one at the bottom that we hide. So we just have, like, we just make it longer and have this at the, one of these at the bottom that's hidden. So when we click here, we hide this whole thing and then what's left and show this thing instead. Is that making sense to you or no?
That last part I kind of lost you because I was trying to like think through it.
Well, okay. So the problem is when we minimize, like if we hide this group, it'll collapse up.
Yeah.
Right. And so
I get you. You want to
yeah, I want it to, well, there's no collapsing down in bubble. So
really?
yeah, so we can't change the position of this based on these disappearing. So what we can do is create here the element itself. Can just make some room. Let's see here. That's 433. So 40 is about right, I'd say, right? And then here, party. And then what we want to do is take these things and put them in a group. Nope, it did not like that. I hate it when Bubble does that.
Do you think like JavaScript would work in this situation? Like embedding? Could that work? I don't know.
Probably. You mean like to
Have it like dynamically collapse down instead of up.
like you could tell it to reposition the thing on the page, like and offset it by some pixels using JavaScript, I'm guessing. But I think, yeah, I think I like this other idea better. We just need to get all of these things in the same group. And
Yeah, it's like, does it make sense? I think.
Oh, I lost your audio. Oh, that's why. Okay. Are you back? Yeah. Sorry, I lost your audio, so it cut you off.
Yeah, I saw that it said internet was poor connection or had poor connection. Yeah, the group thread. Just make sure you're grabbing the group thread that contains all of the element, that paperclip.
Right. Nope, still hates it.
I was having trouble with this same thing, trying to grab all elements and grouping within a reusable. I don't know why that was occurring.
So I think this is the group.
Yeah, I guess it's just, yeah, that is a group. It says group chat. Yep. So does it
And
need,
then how much space, how much padding do we have at the bottom? Does it like this much?
I could tinker around with that later. It looks about good there later. Yeah, it looks good there.
Okay. And then here we want about 40. Close enough. There we go. And then I'll just do another group here. So this group now will be group chat will be visible on page load, and then we'll hide it and show it as needed. And then the other, this one, the group that I'm going to put in here. We want a white background. Here. And just copy. Paste. So from here to there is 47. Yeah, so 40 is good. And then here to here is 12.
So you're going to collapse the top group and then show the bottom one. Is that the goal?
Yes, exactly.
And since it's in a floating group, it'll automatically stack from the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
And so this group will not be visible on page load, and we will make it when chat. Oops, is yes.
Did you? No, this is a different page.
Oh yeah, sorry. I need to delete this. Well, here we go. I was doing this. I was working with a client who was doing something. Sorry. I was just trying to figure out what that issue was. It was driving me nuts.
Gotcha.
I know a lot of people will work with issues there and they don't think that it's important. I think that when you it renders the issues section almost useless if you don't clean up the issues as you go, because then you can't tell. Like, I mean, they give you a very tiny window of issues to begin with, which makes it hard to see what you're working with, and then it just gets overwhelming. So I think what this means, so when this reusable is loaded, when we load one by clicking on it and it loads it up, then we're going to set the states of
You said it. New custom state. I gotcha.
yeah. So we're setting the chat to no. So I just need to test and see if this is going to work, because I think it will work per reusable in the repeating group on the page, but it might collapse all of them at the same time. So can you add the icon, the collapse icon, and then the expand icons to the...
So I noticed, again, you have the X outside. You have it on the repeating group and not within the reusable.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do.
How's that gonna work?
And how did I have that working exactly?
You have a state running on the X where I believe it closes. Yeah, it closes out the chat.
It closes out that chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
State. Yeah.
So
it would be, yeah, it's on the X.
Yeah, go ahead. And I would say if I'm doing that, it's because
you would be running a state on the minimize button too anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you could just keep it
hit the minimize button. I feel like that's hacky though. I feel like we should figure out how to do it within. I'm forgetting what my issue was the other day. Is if I click the X, then I basically don't want that thread to show anymore.
Right.
And so I'm taking it off of a list of threads in the page itself. So in the chat testing page. So yeah, so states of threads here. So chat testing. So this is the page, the threads that we're going to show. That's why, is because the threads that we're going to show, we're storing those on this page instead of in the other page. But we can change that real quick.
You mean like on the reusable?
Yeah, so here I set the states threads here. So if I did it instead So if I made a threads on the reusable itself,
Oh, gotcha. So you're taking it off the index and putting it in this in the
yeah.
reusable. Okay.
So list of threads here.
So the X is now going to be in the reusable instead of without.
Yes,
outside.
exactly.
Yeah. So now you can minimize within too.
Yep.
Right.
So I go back to here and look at this workflow, and instead of setting the threads here on the page, I'm going to set it on, oh, that's why. Now I remember why I did that, because I technically don't have access to the reusable. Because reusable is in the repeating group. So I would probably need to use a plugin. I think it's called like Orchestra or something like that.
Ooh. So because the reusable is inside?
Yeah, because the reusable is inside of a repeating group. I don't have access to its states. If it was just on the page itself, then I would have access to its states. So but it's technically three of those reusables in one, if that makes any sense. So
it outside originally.
Say that one more time.
That way you kept it on the repeating group and not within the originally within the reusable.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think how I've solved this before. Because if I do another one, it would set the states of that other one. So the repeating group is on this page. It's in my floating group here. This repeating group here. And it's chat testing threads items until 3. And then chat testing. I don't think I have access to. Yeah, I don't. So let's look at Orchestra.
Does that like make things like globally available?
Yeah.
I heard of another one called ENV.
What is it called?
ENV.
Is that M as in Mary or N as in Nancy?
E as in exit, N as in no, and then V as in virgin. Couldn't think of anything else.
Okay. Let me look for it. Tell me if I misspell it.
ENV.
ENV as in Victor?
Yes.
Okay. This one?
I'm not sure if that's exactly.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's the BDK one.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is exactly what you're looking for, though.
It kind of sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If orchestra is better, obviously.
All right. So, yeah. So Orchestra is going to allow me to. I've used it a couple times, like just in testing, like making prototypes. But you have a maestro element and musicians. And then you kind of like, you set up this orchestra. That's why it's called Orchestra, so that it's grabbing the things that are inside of the repeating group and making them available to you.
That's cool.
Yeah, the naming is kind of cool. Let me go to the plugin page and read more about like the instructions or whatever. One style is specific, all of them. I agree. It's a weird limitation. Like, why would you even have that limitation? It's not like Bubble has to have that limitation, right? I don't understand.
How difficult it would be for them to undo that.
Right. I don't understand why they wouldn't. like,
Make things accessible within. Yeah.
yeah. Look, everybody loves this plugin. Okay. So now that we have this, I should be able to place it here. I think the Maestro one goes, let's see, does that give like a place where you can go and learn how it works? Place the Maestro element outside. Okay. So the Maestro would go outside of the repeating group like here. And then
Is that
musicians
outside
would
the
go.
group?
Yeah, because that was just in the floating group.
Okay.
Nope. Where's my Maestro? I don't want it there. Okay, let's delete it and start again. Let's undo and undo. Okay. So here, this is not the repeating group. This is the group thread, which is,
I think they're all the same height.
got it. That's why.
So maybe expand the.
Well, technically do I need, yeah, so the floating group here, I'll just make it a little bit taller so I can grab it because I want to draw the Maestro in the floating group. Really tiny. Okay. So now if I check in my elements tree, yeah, the Maestro is just on the floating group, which is where I want it. Now I want to do the musicians inside the repeating group. So like here. And now I need to initialize them. Whatever that means.
Is that like connect them, I guess? Oh yeah.
So when let's just try it on page load. Yeah, here. So what I want is a do when condition is true. When repeating group thread is visible, I want to initialize musicians. Limited bubbling dev. Or was it .dev? Okay.
maybe check out one of the examples too. That we
Yeah.
scheduled. Yeah.
I feel like I'm supposed to see Maestro A when I click it in here. Like initialize. Like it's supposed to be showing me that Maestro element and it's not. But
Is it is the Maestro element outside for sure of the repeating group?
yeah, because the repeating group is here and the Maestro's here.
Yeah, okay.
But it is on the floating group. So maybe if I just move it onto the page itself.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. Nope, I still feel like it should be showing.
So our goal is to try to figure out how to initialize the that orchestra, that maestro element, right?
Yeah, so my like how I guess I need to connect Maestro A and Maestro B is probably what it is. So I have Maestro A here and I have musicians A somewhere in here. So this one,
Excuse me.
so probably in the musicians, I need to specify something. Mm. No. And this is what I mean by it's so hard because the documentation is really not great. I mean, it's great that this is a free plugin and I really appreciate it. It just like in short, place the maestro element outside, then musicians element inside the repeating group. Initialize musicians like in the example. And so I go to the example and I say, okay, I'm looking at this. Let's see here. Initialize, so musicians A revealed. Okay, so this is the part that I need. So when here, instead of this, so when A musicians is revealed, then we're going to initialize it.
When the musicians are triggered this workflow.
Musicians class, what's the musicians class piece of this? First ones. Okay, so something about this. I'm not understanding what the first ones is a reference to. So there's got to be some way that I'm targeting cells using that that reference. So here, this one says musicians classed first ones, different elements like musicians A, B, C needs different classes here. Unique name per class. Vision. But then where is this one? I see. So maybe what I can do here is in the workflow, musicians A is revealed. The musicians class will be parent groups thread. Unique ID. So that makes this visible to then when I trigger.
If you phrase a question for me, I can go through the bubble forum and see what I can find.
I'm not sure it's clear in my head enough to phrase it for you. What I'm trying to do here, okay, so let's start at the beginning. What we're trying to do is we would like to have the icon buttons that we're creating inside the reusable itself.
Right.
The problem is that the repeating group that we have, maybe that's one of the issues, is the repeating group is on the page and not the reusable itself.
So would that mean making that into reusable would make it work?
Yeah, so like if we made the repeating group the reusable,
Yeah, like V main.
then we might be able to do that better because then we would be able to
Communicate.
maybe.
So would that mean we would embed the actual chats reusable within a new repeating group reusable?
Say that one more time, sorry.
So if we're gonna turn that repeating group into reusable, then we'll have to embed into that reusable the chat reusable. So we'll have a nested reusable, right?
Got it.
Is that? I'm not sure if I was quite clear. If I was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Is that what we're aiming for, or are we looking?
I don't know. I'm like, it's, I can see here how we could, I'm trying to think in terms of like, how are we're still, I won't be able to grab this from, because this is in the page itself. So like if I just put, if I rename this actually, so here, because this is chat page. And then, come on, Bubble. And then this is chat reusable. So the chat reusable can't grab add states on the page, but the page can grab the reusable states. So if we make a state on a reusable, that's a repeating group. The question is, can the nested reusable grab that state?
Yeah, can you communicate it? Right.
So that sounds a bit ambitious for
You don't think
for
it's gonna
this
work?
yeah,
Yeah.
for this evening, but yeah, but it's definitely something we should figure out.
Gotcha. I'll note that. Fun stuff though.
Yeah, fun stuff. Just I remember the first time I really bumped up against this bubble limitation. Andrew Potriff was trying to do his cart for Northern Raised, and he came at me with the question, and it was like, how can I tally up all of my line items from this repeating group? And I realized that I couldn't just easily grab what was inside of the reusable. And I spent like 2 days of my time like literally asking Bubble, like not asking the people at Bubble or anything, but like literally just talking to my computer, like, why is this so hard? This should not be so hard. Like, this is like a pretty standard piece of functionality, is that you're going to want to be able to grab what you have now tallied in a repeating group and use it, right? And so the fact that you have to use Orchestra, or there's also another BDK one, repeating group tools, in order to get at the information, it seems like it should be native Bubble to me.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Easy access.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't I be able to do that? And then there's like Andrew McBurney asked a question and tagged me just a little while ago, and he's like, how can I make it so a user can download a CSV combining information from different data tables in Bubble? And like, that doesn't seem like it should be a hard ask of Bubble, but I'm not a coder, so I don't know what goes into all of this. So, but yeah, but like that's one of the primary advantages of using backendless, and why we're planning to use it for that project I'm headed into next week.
Nice.
So
Cool stuff.
Cool beans. What else you got going on? Just this?
Yeah. We're trying to essentially, I've been tinkering around with it just to kind of understand, because I'm still trying to understand the logic behind setting up a one-on-one conversation. I just think I have to look at it a little closer.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all there though. So I've just been kind of studying it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I've just been impressed with how we're able to get this
Looking
like
pretty.
Yeah.
I was thinking about having making it possible for people to use this as references.
Yeah, me too.
Whenever someone has a question, because you would probably see more inflow in regards to users if people are able to access that,
Yeah.
Totally.
So that's one of the reasons why I've been doing the separating out the sandboxes, is with the idea of like coming back in here and cleaning these up into kind of like tutorials.
Right.
And then, yeah, and then the thing I can't do with an agency plan, like an agency level plan, is I can't make the editor public. And a lot of the things that we do require the agency plan. Just for like, yeah.
You can't publicly look at it like you would.
Yeah, you can't make the, so here, like, sorry, in the settings here, this is set as an agency plan. One of the things that means is that the browser itself in preview mode will have the username and password. You can't take this off when it's on an agency plan. And then here, I don't think I can give, oh, maybe I can on the agency plan. I don't think that works. Something tells me that that's not right, that you can't just let everybody edit it. It's like, but maybe I can, everybody can view it.
Yeah, I've seen some people on Bubble, whenever they're explaining something, they've used their own like editor.
Yeah.
And they've had it on everyone can view, but you can't edit.
Right.
But I guess, like you said, the limitation is that it's an agency plan. You can't do that.
Well, I mean, it let me do it just now, but I thought I couldn't do it on the agency plan. But maybe they changed their mind and they let everybody view it. So like people can go in and kind of view and use the tutorials and stuff.
Right. I hope you make them look pretty.
Deal. I said deal. I coughed and muted myself and then realized I was muted and you couldn't hear me. Yes, deal. That's awesome. Perfect. Well, tomorrow I need to get on it tonight because I need to sign up for backend lists. Let me just go ahead. I'm gonna sign up for backend lists and get like the keys and everything ready to go. And yeah, maybe.
Brainstorm here. What would be like because I was thinking about like a use case for backend lists, right?
Sure.
What scenario, since you work with spreadsheets more than I do, what scenario where we would be displaying a large set of data, like it's just a very stressful amount of data, like what could we test?
So I don't think it's necessarily the large amounts of data. That's one piece of it, but I think it's more the like complicated relationships between data tables. So like Andrew McBurney's question today was he wants to export a CSV where the fields or the columns of the CSV, am I saying that? Yeah, CSV. I constantly say CVS when I mean CSV, so I have to double check in my head. But where he wants the columns of the CSV file to come from different data types. And there are some repeating group plugins where like if you can create the data in the repeating group, then you can just export that view to CSV. So that might be a solution for him. I've had problems with those in the past, and it's not, it just seemed like a lot of tinkering was necessary for it. Group. Download CSV from repeating group. Look, it's an AirDev one. I played around with this trying to get it just right. And I was having trouble getting the results I was looking for. But ostensibly, with backend lists, I can create that view in backend lists. And then I could probably like do a CSV based on that. I'm not sure. But that could be one thing, is just using it to combine the data from different tables to create a repeating group that's not as complex.
Gotcha. So working
'Cause-
with a complex relationship there.
Like, you remember the other evening with Jacob, how he had like 9 different
Yeah.
searches on each row?
Mhm.
Like, being able to create that data table without creating a separate data type.
Gotcha. So you wouldn't be stressing the database. Yeah.
Yeah. So you wouldn't like be running thousands of searches for one repeating group on one page. And you don't have to do something like that should technically be unnecessary in Bubble to achieve the result that you're looking for. Like the work that I did to create the tally for the leaderboard that I had created, technically, if I could just tell Bubble, I want these fields in this field and this field and this field from these different data types, and then I want to use this to populate each row, then I wouldn't have had to have done all of that work. If data could have handled that more, if Bubble could have handled that more elegantly. So,
Cool stuff.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, we will be back tomorrow, unless you have anything else, Thomas.
Nope.
Do you have anything else? Okay. Yeah, I want to actually, before we wrap up tonight, I just want to let anyone know who's watching, we have a special guest coming on office hours next Friday the 13th, actually. Eli Beachy from AirDev, and just an awesome bubbler all around, will be with us to answer all of our like questions about Bubble and anything we want him to talk about Bubble. Like, we can bring him our bugs or feature requests and so forth, just like normal. And then we're going to have a build along, and Thomas has figured out what we're going to do for the build along. And if you'll remind me, I can send Eli a note on Monday, let him sort of ruminate on it all week. Maybe that'll improve everything. So really excited for that to happen. That's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific on Friday, August 13th. And if you would like to join us for your complimentary session on that day, please go ahead and tag Kim in the comments here on this live, and she will coordinate with you and get you that invitation. I think we have room up to 100 people on my Zoom. So we've never stressed that limit, but if we try to stress that limit next Friday, I wouldn't be mad at it. Excellent. We're going to be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time for our regular office hours. Thank you so much, Thomas, for being here as usual. I really appreciate your presence here. And also thank you, Kim, also for being here and for doing our timestamps and making sure that everyone gets what the information that they need transferred across platforms and channels and things. Have a wonderful... What was that, Kim?
Thanks for the appreciation.
Of course. All right. Thank you both. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
Bye, guys. Have a
All right.
good day.
Yeah.
Bye.